Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. I wanted to just say a few words, introduce myself, and talk a little bit about some technology that we've been working on and rolling out around the world over the last couple of years. So, my background's been in technology, it's been in the internet platform space. In the last 2 decades, I have worked on what people call Web 1, Web 2, and now even Web 3 platforms, and all of them have focused on using AI and fintech, which is financial technology, to create platforms that ultimately drive more sales and e-commerce and just commerce in general, which is to say that you can drive conversions both online as well as offline into retail stores. So the technologies that I've focused on means that we've always sort of engineered data and audiences and content and so on to be monetized by these platforms. What we're doing today is kind of taking a deep look at how the whole societal impact of this technology has been not that great, right? And what it means for the coming few years and a couple of generations as technology takes over entirely. More and more AI takes over everywhere. How are we going to survive as a human species? How are we going to thrive as a human species? How are we going to succeed as a society if there is such dramatic upending of what we call normalcy, and if governments and people are unable to react to this fast burgeoning pace of technological change? So we went back to the basics of the internet, of technology, and we kind of almost rethought how things work and how things should work. And so with Awake, which is a venture studio, a new type of venture studio, venture builder, where we work with people all over the world to create value, to co-create value in specific, because we do it in a way that is very fair and transparent and creative. And we view the world through the lens of a abundance mindset, which means that most people view the world as a zero-sum game. Economics is considered a zero-sum game, which is why you have mathematics around it, and you're trying to optimize it, and you're doing all these different things, and you're viewing the world in that case as a supply and demand, or a scarcity based game. Whereas the world is really not scarce. The value can be created anywhere, and ultimately it is an abundance of value that can be unlocked in the universe. The key is just how can we do it in a way that is both simple, fair, accessible, and helps everybody, not just a few people. So what is to be done, and what does Newstype have to do with all of this, and why are we talking? The answer is that, as it turns out, Web 1, Web 2, Web 3, maybe Web 4, Web 5 tomorrow, these are all technological changes. These are all based on underlying technologies. It's almost like talking about a database technology that's buried inside your business. And we're referring to that and describing it from the outside, saying this is database technology 1 and a better one, 2, and a version 3 and a version 4. It really should not be something that exciting for most people, because most people don't understand databases and they don't need to, and they just need to use whatever business is offering. So what is the web itself? What is Web 0, which is what we like to joke that we're talking about? If you are into the blockchain space, you might have heard of level 1, which is the actual physical blockchain. Level 2 being, abstractions built on top of this base function. We like to joke that we're level 0 blockchain. What does it mean? It means that we're agnostic to platforms and blockchains and countries and currencies, because we are connecting people, which is Web 0, users of all these internet platforms, Whether these platforms are Web1 platforms like blogs or websites, or somebody sending an email or a newsletter or whatever it is, text messages, to Web2 platforms like DoorDash or Zomato, or any Uber, or all these different Airbnb. These are all Web2 platforms, and similarly many, many more. And Web3 platforms today, maybe they talk about blockchain or NFTs or trading, or tomorrow it'll be in many other applications of it. But these are all internet platforms, web platforms, and they might be described as Web1, Web2, or Web3 platforms. Why not go backwards and focus on this Web0 layer, which is all the people everywhere in the world who are directly connected to the internet, which is what we all use, and to each other through this internet across these platforms. The problem only is that today's internet only has all these different platforms and networks. The internet, or the internetwork, was never really created. Newstype is a application of this new underlying level 0 blockchain, or a Web0 layer, that connects people directly across each other, across platforms, directly to each other, across platforms, across blockchains, across countries, using this new architecture, where, because we are directly connecting people to each other, peer-to-peer to peer-to-peer transactions, using content. When I say connect, what does it mean? It means when I share some content on Facebook and you click on it, I have interacted with you. You and I have interacted. We have engaged with each other. So content today on the internet drives engagement between people, because we're interested in topics and we share and all that. But only the platform companies where this happens is benefiting. Facebook benefits, Instagram benefits, TikTok, Twitter, Snapchat, all these, and websites too. I mean, to a smaller degree, because they don't have the same kind of technology that these big guys have. But the technology companies benefit. And if you know what you're doing, then you can, get rich off of that, as these guys have gotten. Why not create a way for people also to capture their data as they use these different platforms? As I share on Facebook, how come I don't get to capture my data and use that data to monetize for myself? How come we don't capture the fact that you click on my link on Facebook, and then we don't capture that interaction between the two of us, capture that in a way that we can monetize that directly? Why only Facebook is monetizing our interactions on Facebook? Our interactions belong to us. Facebook keeps the data that is a copy of what we did there, but it's us who did that something there. And we have every right to capture that activity back in our own way, so that we can also monetize. This doesn't change anything in terms of what people are already doing, or how they might already or continue to operate. But it is the knowledge economy. If you understand what this new Web0 layer means for the world, and in particular what Newstype can do for the content industry, then dramatic changes can happen. Any one of you can become the next brand or the next platform on the internet across the world, because there is a new way to drive storytelling, community, engagement, and ultimately monetization of all of the above. There is a way now for everyone to become a platform with a single click. Newstype makes it possible for you to launch a content business, because now this content is self-aware. It is able to track itself as it moves around the internet. In other words, as people create the content, people curate the content or share it, which is what curation really means. I'm selecting a bunch of items that I want to share with you, or my audiences, or my followers. So this act of creating content and curating content, both of these now are able to capture that knowledge of what is happening, who is touching it, who is interacting, where, also is captured in the cloud, which is then directly monetized by Newstype on behalf of these content creators and curators. Which means what? Which means everyone today who is a content creator, there's 200 million plus people, everyone in the audience probably is, but there's 5 billion more people who are curating, in other words, sharing content, and of course, consuming content. So can we involve everyone who supports that creator to participate in the upside? Can we co-create value with everyone who creates content, touches our content, shares the content, or invites other people into our networks? Can we all share together? Can we create a model where it's not just the platform companies that win, or not just the last person who makes a sale that wins, but a whole community of people, a whole community of creators and fans can together monetize the value of that activity, engagement, excitement? Can they bring in brands? Can they bring in sponsors? Can they bring in e-commerce operators? Can they bring in value providers that is relevant to the content consumption community? And then that commerce that ensues can automatically be split profit wise with everyone who contributes transparently, automatically, instantly. Can we create a world where, just like Facebook or any other platform of content and community, suddenly everyone has an account where they accrue money straight into their account, like a wallet, like a PayPal wallet or a Paytm wallet, but it's just a wallet on the news site or a content-driven platform. And now suddenly, because you are a member, you're able to share and earn. And the concept is what we're calling fair share. The share button today, the share button which you use to share on content with your friends and family and all that, that share button hasn't really changed very much. So news type uses a new type of sharing mechanism. We call it fair share, where if you share content, you will get the benefit of any profit that is generated because of that activity. Imagine you share a high value content or create a high value content and share it on from a news type powered website to somewhere, say Facebook, and even today, or even on your own blog, you curate it, and you are seeing evergreen traffic for years and years. People are still finding that useful, let's say, and you continue to get paid for any commerce activity, commercial activity that ensues with that in its chain of influence. I mean, in other words, people are finding your content useful, and they are engaging with the broader community, and eventually when they make purchases, everyone in that chain gets automatically paid out. And we're talking about a retail model. We're talking about 30-40% of top line. This magic monetization, which happens behind the scenes, makes it possible for content and commerce to be completely disjointed, so that there is a separation of church and state. People who create content and curate content have no idea how or when this might be monetized. So they're not trying to monetize it. In other words, they're focused on value. They're focused on really the content, getting the best writing out there, or the best videos and audio, and now AI, all kinds of stuff, content out there, providing value to your followers, diving into your passions and expressing yourself in the way that you want to. And magically behind the scenes, based on topic and other types of engagement that your content receives out in the world, you keep getting paid. And we're not talking advertising, which is tiny amounts of money compared to the sales that these advertisers are paying for. So imagine taking a cut of every single dollar that is commercially being created out of your influence. Everyone's an influencer. Everyone here has something to say, something to express, something to share. And so now with fair share and news type platform, you're able to create these new types of communities powered by content, driven by fans, and really powered by an overall economic model, which is transparent and fair and co-creational with everybody. So that's kind of what I wanted to say. I hope that was useful. I also would love to walk you through the news type presentation at some point when you're ready for it. So thank you for listening.